Can't take a Lamborghini for a test drive.
No, you can't.
Are you not allowed to take a Lamborghini for a test drive?
No.
Really? Why is that?
Because if you're going to buy a Lamborghini,
You're going to buy a Lamborghini no matter what?
Those cars don't have commercials.
Yeah.
You don't need to advertise for them. If somebody wants one and can afford it, they're going to get that car.
Yeah.
I'm all about comfort, you know? And I look at that car and I'm like, that just looks hard.
Me and you getting in that.
Everything looks hard about
not working.
it, you know?
Me getting into that car would be exactly that scene in Wolf of Wall Street, except I wouldn't be, except I wouldn't be fucked up. I would just have to get out of the car that way. I'd have to roll out and crawl. Did you guys name the podcast Who Are These Guys because of the article, or did you find that article because this podcast is named Who Are These Guys?
That came first.
Yeah.
That came first. And that's kind of where the name came from.
Oh, that's cool.
We should try to find that article.
I'm sure you could.
Yeah, I'm sure somewhere on here we could find the date of when that was.
Is that the chicken or the egg?
Yeah, no, that definitely came first. And that morphed into the deal.
Coming up with names for shit is so hard.
Tell me
Like,
about
you got to find the inspiration from somewhere.
If you're
But that was
indecisive.
perfect though, because people have been coming in here for years, and like they start looking into all the different rooms and shit. And like there's a pallet company in the back. They say, "Oh, to the studio," and you see on their face that expression of like, "Who are these people? Like, what is going on?
What is
here?"
going on in this place?
Yeah, and so it really, it was good. It fell together real organically.
Yeah, the last time we did it, we were in the back. It was like, I think was it during COVID? Was it before COVID?
It was during COVID. It was like 2020.
COVID, yeah.
Like, yeah, during COVID.
COVID's when it
That's why I
started.
was like shocked that you guys were doing it in person. I'm like, hell yeah, let's go.
Oh, that's right.
Like I said, it was just, I went to work every day. So like for me, it was like zombie apocalypse every day. Just me and the zombies out there. And then you guys, I was like, human interaction? Like, this is fucking great.
Yeah, there was. We only like stayed away for like half a day. I feel
Yeah,
like.
we never stopped. We never
Yeah,
stopped
yeah.
because of the industrial company. Like we had that whatever it was called, like the essential business,
Good.
and because of that, this one just slipped right under the door.
It's crazy to think of how long that's been. It's been 4 years already. It's a long time.
Like a blink of an eye. Too.
I know.
I mean,
And what a significant thing to have happened, and then it's gone like that.
I know.
But I think what's like we're feeling like the reverberations.
I was
Like,
gonna
a
say, I
lot
don't
of
think it's
things in our
gone.
world.
I don't
are
think it's
fucking
gone.
Still shaken because of that.
Yeah, of course. I know. But a lot of it you can't control, right? So just kind of let it happen a little bit.
Yeah, you keep fucking marching forward. What else are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What do you got going on? What are you excited about that you're working on?
Are we rolling right now? Is this?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
all right. Okay.
This is it. Welcome back.
Oh, all right. Sorry.
Action.
What do I have going on? Too much, honestly.
I was gonna say that. I feel like every time I look at something that you're doing, there's 25 other things underneath them that you're doing.
I always try to stay busy with new projects. I always find things like everything that I come up with that I want to do is always something that I think that people will have use for. So obviously I wrote my book. I came out with my book. I have a workout program for beginners, like true beginners. So what I did was I always look at the fitness. You always see these videos on Instagram. It was like beginner workout. And then it's a guy like, okay, let's start a plank for 3 minutes. It's like, dude, that's not a beginner workout. You know? So there's just a whole population of people who are heavily overweight, never worked out before in their life, elderly people, kids even. So I created a very, very beginner workout that really starts from sitting down, essentially. There's 3 levels of it.
Sounds like my kind of workout. Go over it.
Beginning is just like standing up off the couch, like this way it gets people into like just moving it, because a lot of people, they don't, especially elderly or people who have never worked out or scared to work out, they never do anything. So just to get them in the habit of that, and then I came up with that program. And then also I released 2 journals. So one is, 3 journals actually, to help people just refocus on gratitude and become more grateful. I think that's something that we lack in society in general, especially kids. That's why one of them is specifically geared towards kids. It's called My Happy Place. One page is just like, hey, what's something good that happened to you today? What's something hard you did? And then the other page asks them to draw a picture of a certain thing. It'd be like, the first one is, what is my happy place? So it asks the kids to draw a picture of what their happy place is. So it gives them a chance to refocus on good things in their life, because they're always constantly glued to these devices. Sure. Then the other 2 are the journal for people who hate journaling. It's literally just a style of journal where it gives you different prompts. Some of it's drawing, some of it's writing things, just to get focused into that. And the other one is just called Grateful AF, which is just a basic gratitude journal that you practice every day to get into these things, because we lose focus, especially in my profession. Because when I teach resilience and I teach people how to get over trauma and all this other stuff, one of the main things that they lack a lot of the times is gratitude. So I put those things out there. And yeah, in my book too, I definitely didn't write the book the last time I was here, right?
No.
So my book, people think it's a book about my life. It's an autobiography. It's not at all. Like, yeah, there's a couple pages in there about my life, but most of it is how I changed my whole life through changing my mind and making conscious decisions and gratitude and all this stuff, and how that changing my whole attitude shifted my transition to be able to become more physically fit and become more physically well and get into the gym and really appreciate myself and love myself and all that stuff. That's the first half. And then the second half is a cookbook. It's 30 recipes, 30 of my favorite recipes in there that I write down, nutritious recipes, delicious too. And that's it.
You're doing a lot.
Yeah,
Doing a lot.
Yeah. Sorry, I know that was like probably like the longest win. What are you up to? I'm sure I could list 100 more things, but like I just try to stay busy. Like I said, I like to stay busy.
I like the journaling thing. My dad's doing that now. My brother got them that for for his like Father's Day or birthday or something like that. So they send him a prompt every month. And
really?
And it's like about his past, and he's never written in his life, but he's now talking to my mom.
I've seen that.
About everything, about the topic, and they do it kind of together.
And then they write a book, right?
And they're pretty much writing a book.
Yeah.
So he sends it back to my brother, and his kids are all putting it together. And then as soon as they get something from him, they send him another prompt. They send him another question. It's pretty cool. Like it'll be nice for me in like 10 years.
Yeah, that will be. You should do it too for your kids.
I have a journal book next to me with prompts, and it's empty.
He's a writer.
It's
Yeah, I don't know if you know.
We're in a fucking room full of authors.
I've
right
never
now.
been able to do the prompt one. Has always been hard for me. I have like a digital, I guess you call it a journal. I don't write in it every day, but I always go back to it, and it's years worth of entries.
It's great.
It's good. It's good to keep track of that stuff.
Well, you know what I really like to do with that is I like to, especially like when I'm kind of down bad and I'm not feeling great, like to look at it and read, go back months, and you see the arcs. You see the arcs of like when you're feeling good and when you're not feeling good. And it starts to kind of almost like form a pattern.
Yeah,
and
like
it's very
June
interesting.
and December.
That seasonal depression hits hard.
It's just interesting to see like you step out of your own mind, you're looking at it objectively, and you see how like it's like you're just this cycle, this roller coaster of emotions, and that's just what people are. And like have a spot to dump them out is good, I think.
Yeah, no, so. It's good to reflect on stuff. And like honestly, I got to give you credit. Like when you published a book and I bought it, and then you publishing a book and self-publishing like really gave me like one of the ideas to be like, you know what, I could definitely do this. Like I always wanted to do it, and like seeing you do it like really inspired me to do it. So I just want to let you know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. The journal thing is like, I think that's the coolest thing about technology now. Listen to something the other day, we were talking about like the whole AI thing. It's not the like, draw me a picture or something like that, but it's the ability, like the simple things like that, to say what you said. Like if you're doing like digital journaling, remind you of what you did like 5 days ago, or like the photo thing.
Yeah.
Like that's the best part about it, when you go on your photos and it remind you like 5 years ago.
Yeah, or it makes you really depressed that your kid's aged 5 years and you're like, shit.
I love, the 5-minute journal. Have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because that's just like lists. Like write out a few things you're grateful for, what good happened today. So it's not like, you don't have to write out full sentences, but just to get you in the mind space of like being grateful. It's easy for anyone.
Yeah,
it takes 5 minutes.
That's essentially what mine is too, is because like I don't want to sit there and write a whole paragraph about what happened. I just want to write like lists, like things I'm grateful, songs I like, songs that describe my life at this moment, like stuff like that. Like
that's cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm long-winded as fuck. I'm fucking writing fuck.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. You get caught up, and then all of a sudden you don't finish that thing, and then you.
But I
get
think
half
it's
of a thought.
I also put I think maybe one day in the future I'd like to maybe like compile them and see if it could be something.
Your future's getting short, bro.
You're right.
Oh my god.
Yeah, why wait?
Why wait?
Well,
Write it down.
Let's go. Well, I'll be the only fucking non-author in the room then.
Yeah, get your eyes out of the phone.
Let's go. Step it up.
Stop looking at your phone. Get your thumbs down.
It's not time for the book.
My problem with it is like the first day I don't do it, it's like everything else. I'm like, fuck, and then I just, then it's 2 days, and it's 3 days, and it's 4 days, and I'm like, I don't journal anymore.
Yeah, but that really shouldn't matter. Like I wanted to start one for my fourth kid.
You're right, it shouldn't.
I wanted to start, and I did start it. Like that was the whole point, was just to continuously write about how this last child affected everybody in my house. Mm-hmm. And then you just, by month 5, I stopped.
Yeah.
And then I just, I looked at it. And now when I look at it, because I still have it, I'm like, damn. Like I was on a roll. And then I just dropped it,
Similar to Ralph's. I'm like, I'm not going to go to Ralph's today. And I go to Ralph's.
What's your go-to?
My go-to is peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, Rainbow Cookie is where it's at.
Rainbow
Rainbow
Cookie's
Cookie
nice.
at Ralph's is definitely my favorite. I thought my whole life that Ralph's was a Long Island institution that was founded here, and it's not. It's Staten Island.
Interesting.
Close enough to Long Island. But
That tracks, though.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I never ever have Ralph's. I don't think I've ever really had fucking
Italian
iced.
iced guy.
What I was about to say, iced tea. I never had iced tea. I only have like vanilla Italian ice. Not vanilla, lemon.
Patsy's.
Yeah,
Lemon.
Basically,
Back in the day, Patsy's.
like lemon ice.
Boy,
Like I
for a
never got
quarter.
into the flavor and shit. Italian ice was never really that. I didn't.
You
do
should
it.
go with your kids. That place
Yeah.
is fun.
I'll go too.
There's so many flavors.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Yeah. Field trip. Let's go right now. We'll be right back.
I got a real situation over at Ralph's though because they know me and they know that I get the same thing every time, so I can't try other things. Like every time, I'm just a people pleaser at heart. Right. So I walk in, they're like, usual. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, fuck, I really want the Rainbow Cookie today.
Maybe they want you to buy both. They're trying to get a little extra money out of you.
So he's like, all right, I want you to try the lemon meringue one, which has got anything that's got the little cookie in it, the crumb, like the
You're
crust.
speaking
of
my
it.
language now.
And I'm like, yeah, this is great. So I try it. And I'm like, all right, give me the medium of the lemon meringue. I try it. A try of it was okay, but a whole one of it, rough. So then I went back in and he's like, all right, so back to the peanut butter and jelly. I said, I guess so. Yeah. So now I got to go a whole nother month of just peanut butter and jelly till the kid lets me try another one.
Sounds like made up.
Or I
pizza
got to go
place.
to another Ralph's, which I do sometimes,
So all the Ralphs are owned by different. It's not like a chain from
Anthony
one guy.
DeChico owns a couple Ralphs.
Oh, that's right. He does. own
Really?
a couple.
Yes.
I ran into him. I can't even remember where. It was the most random occurrence I ran into.
He's still
him.
the happiest guy ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember.
Love him.
I feel like his kid might go to the same school as my son. Maybe that's where I ran into him.
I think he lives in Massapequa.
I was gonna say. I think he's Massapequa.
I think his kid goes to the same school as my son.
He lived in Long Beach, I think, and then he moved to Massapequa or something like that. I think he has 3 Ralphs now.
Good for him.
I gotta go to
who's my
Ralph's, I
realtor?
guess, right?
Yeah.
I cannot believe you've never been to Ralph's.
It's weird. I got weird things
really
like that.
weird.
You hang out with me long enough, you see some weird shit.
Yeah, he doesn't do Ralph's. He doesn't eat ice cream.
But
Ever?
No,
No, that's not true. I eat ice cream.
Oh, he doesn't know how to eat an ice cream cone.
Here's
Yeah,
another.
no,
I don't fucking lick it like a little child.
Everybody licks it. You
I
have
don't
to
like
lick
it.
it.
I
We're
don't-
not
I
gonna
don't
go
like
over
it
this.
either.
You
lick it?
No way. You bite into the cone?
nope.
You don't lick the side of the cone so it doesn't drip down your hands.
No.
I eat it so fast it doesn't get to
all
that
right.
point. No matter
Exactly.
how hard it is.
Exactly.
All right.
It's all like you can't bite it with your teeth. You just bite it with your lips, like that.
Exactly.
Boys.
Gum in it?
I gum it.
That might be worse. I'll be honest with you. That might be worse.
That's it.
No
Then it's
fucking
gone.
chance am I.
Takes his teeth out.
No
you-
fucking
then
yeah,
but
but
nobody's exaggeratingly doing it like that. That's what you're seeing in your head. And you're like,
Bite the
short
bottom of the
little-
cone and you suck out the ice cream to the bottom of the cone. That's what's up. That is it.
That's
Nothing better.
That's
Most underrated ice cream place over here is Stu Leonard's. All right, you go there, you get your free ice
Oh,
cream
the free
cone.
ice cream.
Yes, 100%, and it's just as good as Carvel.
What's Stu Leonard? Is it the liquor store?
What?
Bro,
Well, it's
It
a
is a
liquor
liquor
store
store.
and it's
There's
a
a grocery
it's a
store.
supermarket.
There's
He don't
one-
shout.
There's one in Farmingdale. There's one in East Meadow.
the one in Farmingdale. The weekend that it opened up, the managers were rough. Like grocery store managers are tough people to deal with. When I was selling Greenport, they had the growler station, and the first weekend I go there, the guy's like, "Oh, I'll take it in, but you got to do a demo the whole entire weekend."
The whole weekend.
Like 8 hours on Saturday, 8 hours on Sunday. Bro, we went through we sold more kegs in that one day in that one fucking Stu Leonard's than we were selling in like the best bars in the city.
That's ridiculous.
It was crazy.
That's crazy.
How are you allowed to give samples out? Like, why am I able to go to a liquor store and they give me a shot of tequila? Like, how is that? How is that?
I always wonder that
something?
too, honestly.
It's still part of the law, part of liquor law that you could do it over a certain amount, and like it can't be the person that sells it can't do it. It's got to be like third party.
Interesting.
But I could
amount.
definitely get 3 shots out of that person if I want to.
Yeah,
In
I
a
mean
hot-
you're not supposed. That's illegal.
Well, I mean,
You know.
Don't drop any names. Now they're gonna get in trouble.
no, I don't have any. I usually turn it down because I feel weird and bad.
I never take those samples because it's always like weird shit.
I never take the samples because as a people pleaser, I always feel obligated to buy the thing that I just got.
Really?
Even if I hated it, I'd be like, oh, this is
100%.
good. Let me buy 10 of them.
100%.
Yeah.
You throw in the fact that I had to do them for so many years, there's no chance I'm not buying it. I just walk up to him now. I'm like, I don't even want to try it. Just, can I buy it, please?
Oh man, that's crazy.
Because you feel so bad. There'll be days where like people won't even talk to you. And we've talked about it on here before, like the beer thing where they're like, it's actually not bad. I'm like, oh, good. You know, there's like 4 brewers out there who work 70 hours a week for you to say, you know,
Not bad.
it's actually not bad.
I went there once and the girl had Tito's and I walked in. I'm like, I love Tito's. I'm like, I'll take a shot. And she's like, you gonna buy it? I'm like, no, I already have 2 bottles in my house. I don't need to buy anymore.
It's a lot of alcohol.
Whenever I go, it's always like some weird fucking like margarita seltzer or something, and I'm like, I don't fucking want that, man. Get the fuck out of here. Thank you, but I'm good.
Once it touches your lips, you can't stop.
Yeah, give me another.
Give me 2 bottles.
They're never giving free shot samples of the good shit.
No.
You never get any of that.
Yeah, they don't have to.
I'm trying to sell it, man. Trying to sell something new.
That shit sells itself.
Can't take a Lamborghini for a test drive.
No, you can't.
Are you not allowed to take a Lamborghini for a test drive?
No.
Really? Why is that?
It's just
People just
how
run
they
off?
operate, yeah.
Because if you're going to buy a Lamborghini,
You're going to buy a Lamborghini no matter what?
Those cars don't have commercials.
Yeah.
You don't need to advertise for them. If somebody wants one and can afford it, they're going to get that car.
Yeah.
They don't have commercials.
Yeah.
Shit. Those are things I don't notice.
Those cars, like I'm all about comfort, you know. And I look at that car and I'm like, that just looks hard.
Me and you getting in that.
Everything looks hard about
not
it,
working.
you know.
Me getting into that car would be exactly what I'd seen in Wolf of Wall Street, except I wouldn't be, except I wouldn't be fucked up. I would just have to get out of the car that way. I'd have to roll out and crawl. That's what it would be. It's not happening.
Yeah, that scene is amazing. That's an amazing scene.
It is. It is.
Yeah, those cars are embarrassing to get out of. Your ass cracks definitely hanging out. Oh, big somewhere you getting out. You know?
I feel like I never see the person who drives a Lamborghini because it's so tinted. You never see him get out.
Look, when you see somebody in a Lamborghini or Ferrari and shit, it's like it's impressive for the moment because it's like, oh shit, it's a Lamborghini, it's a Ferrari.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like it's I don't know.
Excessive.
It's not
It's
for me,
excessive.
yeah. I see them outside the gym all the
I
time.
like a Porsche. I think a Porsche is very nice, but I think beyond that, like, you know, that's Lamborghinis and Ferraris.
What do you think the percentage of it is, like people who love cars and people who are just showing off? If you had to guess, 50-50?
No,
I think
it's probably
I think
way
it's
more people showing off.
Way more people showing off.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. It's a lot of money to buy something. Like, you better fucking love that car. Because to me, money's no object. I love cars. Like, I would never buy that. I would buy like a classic, like 55, 57 Chevy over any of those any day. Like, 70 Chevelle. Like, come on. Like, before I buy
It's a real excessive luxury.
Yeah.
It's a very excessive luxury.
The buyer's remorse I would have that would set in immediately after I signed that thing. Even if I had all the money in the world, like I don't deal well with that shit. Like I would be like so protective of it, like just waiting for something to go wrong.
Bird shitting on it.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta you gotta really take care of those things.
Yeah, there's a lot of maintenance that goes into. I'm sure a lot of it. I'm sure like the oil change is probably like $10,000 just by itself.
Never thought about that.
Yeah,
It does convey power, though. Somebody
Yeah.
pulls up in a fucking Ferrari right in the front of the fucking restaurant. It
Yeah.
conveys a power that is.
It's funny, as a girl, I don't think so. Like, I see that and I'm like,
I'm gonna go and
That's
tell you that
kind
there's
of
a lot of girls
annoying.
that would disagree.
Yeah. What kind of cars do you like?
Good question.
I like a Bronco,
The new one or the old ones?
the new one,
New ones look like a
No, it's
toy.
cool.
like a 4-door, like all blacked out.
I like
The
a
new-
chick in a Bronco.
The new
you
one
know?
is cool. I just only like it in one color though, the yellow. And before I got the truck that I have now, I have the Gladiator.
Me too.
Before I got that, the first one that came out, I was waiting forever to get that Bronco, and they just never released it. So I went with the Gladiator, and then I loved it so much, I just never went and got it. But I like it in the yellow, but for some reason, I don't like it in any other color. It's so weird. Like,
What do you think about the Cybertruck?
dude, me and my wife talked about this the other day. She hates it. She's like, I hate that ugly car. I'm like, at first I was like, this is the ugliest car I've ever seen in my entire life, but it kind of grew on me.
I saw one in person.
Yeah. It reminds me, like, I got to put a flux capacitor in it, and it's the fucking DeLorean. 88 miles an hour, we are going back to the future.
And it's also like Mad Max and the Thunder. Like if the world ends, you can cruise around in that thing.
Yeah.
I parked next to one the other day, and it in person, it's fucking impressive.
Yeah, it
really impressive.
The redefined meals guys, they just got one and wrapped it in like
I
their
saw that,
bread.
yeah.
I saw it in Patchogue on Sunday.
I
It was
would
fucking
absolutely
cool.
drive that. Absolutely. Well, how much that cost? It's over 100,000.
I don't even think it's that terrible though, comparatively to other stuff that's out there.
I don't know.
It's got to be at least $100.
Like my Gladiator Mojave is like $60,000,
Yep.
dude. Like that's insane,
Yep.
insane. The Hyundai, the Genesis SUV is like $100,000.
The Genesis is a real weird car because you don't know what it is, and then you go see what it is, and it's like it's crazy expensive. It's like a fucking Rolls Royce, but it's made by Hyundai.
Yeah.
The cost of cars in general is getting insane.
Oh yeah.
Just regular cars. It's getting crazy. Really is.
Yeah, just like the price of everything.
Not a car guy.
Yeah.
What do you got?
What do I drive?
Subaru Outback?
Subaru.
Forester?
Subaru Forester.
No, the shit's expensive, man. It's expensive.
Super Force is nice though. I used to have one of those as an unmarked in the police department with Jersey plates on it.
They're nice. They're
nice.
It's okay. I mean, it's good for the snow, but it snows twice here. It doesn't
Not
really
that
work
much anymore.
That's
What's
what I'm
going on
saying.
with that?
It hasn't snowed in years.
How do you like the Gladiator?
I love it, dude. Honestly, it's great. I never had a Jeep before. I was like, it was actually my wife who like told me, hey, Jeep's coming out with a pickup. I'm like, what? And I saw it. I'm like, oh my God, I love this thing. It's phenomenal.
Do you get people for I think this is a very weird thing. Like Jeep people like fucking salute each other out there like the way motorcycle guys do. And I'm always like I never get it. I'm always like I'm 3 years in with this fucking car and people are nodding at me. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? And then I'm like, oh, he's got a Jeep. That's right.
Yeah, so around here, everybody has a Jeep, but if I go out of state, like somebody will wave at me, I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? The weirdest thing that Jeep people do is that duck shit. Okay.
I don't think I know that.
No. Okay. So what they do, what Jeep people do is they duck other people. So they carry around little rubber ducks and they'll put a duck on your car. I didn't know about this either.
I've not been ducked.
I was in Ocean City, Maryland. It just happened to be like Jeep weekend. I was there with my family. Everybody's got a Jeep. I come back to my car and there's this little rubber. I'm like, who the fuck put something on my car? I had to Google it. It's this whole Jeep thing. Now I have like 4 of them on my dashboard because they've just been left on my car by various people. It's so
You're not like re-giving them out?
No, I'm not.
You're not re-ducking people?
I'm not a participant in the Jeep life culture.
Yeah, no, I always think it's weird.
But you feel too bad to throw them out.
Yes, and they sit up there.
I had during COVID.
Let's just keep on ducking his car and see how many he
Definitely.
puts in
We're
his
just going to
car.
find where he is, hang out at the gym he goes to.
For the next 3 months, let's just duck him.
Just dump a whole thing on.
The duck thing is weird. The duck thing is weird.
I would keep them. I feel bad. I'm like, one day somebody's gonna come. Like my kids like the ducks, and I'm just like, fine, I'll keep the ducks. But
Now, is this Jeep like Jeep Cherokee people or just people with
no,
Jeeps?
you guys don't.
No.
Cherokee people are not involved. It's just
Wranglers.
Wranglers.
It's Wranglers.
sorry.
And then Gladiators.
Yeah.
But it's
Gladiators.
it's like the old West. It's like, howdy, partner. You know what I mean? It's a real like club, and it's very strange.
I would get right
during
out of that.
COVID when I got the motorcycle, which was a thing that like happened and it didn't happen. Guys would do the 2-finger thing, and that was cool. That was cool. And when I did the Jeep thing, I'm like, it's not as cool.
No, it's not as cool.
Like on a motorcycle, I'd be like, two wheels down, make sure you stay. You're like,
But what's
we don't
funny,
fucking flip over.
He might have amnesia.
Definitely. Kurt, any lesbians waving at you in your Subaru Forester?
Sometimes they're trying to get in my passenger seat.
What's funny though is if you make fun of that Jeep Wave shit on like the internet or social media, people like
trouble?
attack
They
you.
come for
Oh
you?
my God. They're like, you don't understand the history of it, bro. It's from when people had Jeeps in the military and they used to wave. Dude, I'm not in the fucking military. I'm driving down the Southern State Parkway. Like, listen, if they start dropping bombs out of the air and I see some guy alive, yeah, okay, cool. But I'm not there. All right, I'm going to get groceries with my children.
I mean,
I didn't know.
Stop waving at me.
I had no idea it was a thing. I live next door to the guy that owns Security Dodge. He gives us great deals. We have a really good relationship with him. So I went and I got Jeeps.
Nice.
And shout out to Security Dodge. Anybody needs a deal, hit me up.
John Vacanti? What the fuck?
People are going to hit you up now.
Use
People are gonna hit you up now.
coupon code Jesse V.
What the fuck?
Jesse, no, but I had no idea.
What's going on? I need a Jeep.
I got this thing. I got this car. And then all of a sudden I got strangers just saying hello. And I'm like, maybe she thinks I'm cute. No, it's just a Jeep.
Wait, is there a history behind the duck thing?
I have
Has to be.
there probably is. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm sure it's some other like terribly tragic story that if this is gonna get posted. I'm gonna be making fun of the Jeep ducks. They'll be like, this guy fucking hates disabled children because it was started by some disabled child. All right, listen, I don't know the history. Okay, so if it was started by a disabled child, I'm sorry. Okay, I support the disabled children.
They'll spin it. They'll spin it somehow. They'll come through.
It's funny.
So you still on the force and everything?
Yeah, still 18 years in as of July 10th, which is absolutely absurd to think about that. But yeah, still there, still kicking around.
How long are you going to go?
I don't
2
know.
more years.
So I'm waiting to get promoted to lieutenant. I took the lieutenant's test. And probably about 2 years out from being promoted to lieutenant, but I'll be eligible to retire around the same time. So I don't know. But it is a significant pay increase, especially when it comes to pension. So I might stay probably 23-ish years, all depending on, what's going on at the time. Hopefully I become a millionaire before then with everything that I'm doing.
The HFL empire.
Buy the journals.
Yeah. Buy something. Support my retirement fund, okay? Like people who run a small business don't understand, it's very hard to sell anything out there. It's tough.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
You're in the city still?
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it.
I'm a crazy person. I love the city. Even when I'm off, I take my family to the city. We do city things. We go to restaurants. We hang out. And I'm telling you, I don't understand. I mean, I guess people from Long Island, they're afraid to change to Jamaica, but not me. I just love going there. I've worked out through there, COVID, the entire thing, like I've said before, and I'm telling you, I still enjoy going to the city and hanging out.
Well, COVID must have been amazing because it was nobody was there.
Yeah.
Now there's just people all over.
It took me
the place.
23 minutes to get to work, and I over the Brooklyn Bridge. I work in downtown Manhattan. Now it takes me, if I'm going to get home on a Friday, 2.5 hours.
Yep.
It's absolutely absurd. I don't drive anymore. I take the train, but it's nuts.
Going to work was great during that time.
Oh my God, amazing.
I was going to the Bronx, and you were the only one there listening to Cuomo on the radio because it's the only thing that was on the radio.
I regret deeply not driving into Manhattan.
It's so
when
cool.
it was desolate.
I definitely wanted to do something in Times Square.
And not seeing that, I
really
really would have loved to have seen it, been there and seen nobody there. That is a moment that I'm sad that I missed.
Walk naked through Times Square.
I still do that.
Is my mic on?
You can still do that.
You can do that?
Yeah.
That's
That's
excessive.
legal now. You can smoke weed and do it.
I used to go, walk around. I've always made a habit of on my lunch break going out for a run or going out for a walk. During COVID was the best because you would go out there and you'd go for a walk for an hour and there'd be nobody out there. If you saw another person, it was definitely a homeless guy. It was not somebody who lived there. And it would scare you because you'd be like, oh my God, there's another. Wow. It was pretty cool.
28 days later.
That's exactly. Riding the train was the same thing. Imagine riding the Long Island Railroad or the subway and you are the only person there. It's so bizarre.
Experience that,
it's I Am Legend.
Yeah,
I would have loved to
like.
experience that.
Yeah.
That's a regret I have. The
And
next
then-
one. On the
But
next
the next one, yeah.
And then what's funny was when people started to come back and they were scared to come back, they were yelling at me for doing shit that I was doing the entire time. It was you weren't even here. I was here this entire time. You don't get to tell me what the fuck to do. All right?
People just fall right back into it.
Yeah.
Doesn't take long.
Yeah, no. Now everything's back to normal. Chaotic is
Everybody
all.
hates each other.
Yeah.
It's nice.
The trains aren't back to normal though. That's a thing. The parking lot at the Sayville train station, it's not a fucking car in the thing all day.
Yeah.
I don't understand how those things operate still.
It's because more people are working from home, and I'm the biggest campaigner of everybody should work from home but me, so I can get that COVID traffic back. But I think it's just more remote jobs, and you could tell that they probably work. I could tell the schedule. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they definitely work in the city.
Sure.
Because the trains are mobbed, but Monday, Friday, there's nobody on those trains coming home.
Yeah, everyone stacks their work from home days on the weekends.
Yeah.
My brother's getting forced to go back. He's been out since COVID, so it's been 3 years now.
What's the reason though?
I don't know.
Culture.
I'm thinking that the business must be paying for the building, and they're like, all right, it's time to get back. It's time to get back in.
I think there's a lot
pros
of
and cons
reasons.
on both sides.
Yeah.
There's pros and cons, and it all depends. But culture, and like you're saying, people being together, there's a value in that. If
I agree.
If you have a good team of people that like to work together, and you know, it's different if you work for a giant fucking corporate structure.
But even still, though,
Yeah.
the teams inside of those, they want those people to be around each other.
That's a good point. It's definitely much different. I could tell. One thing that evolved out of COVID is Zoom. I fucking hate it. All right, it's completely different to be on a Zoom call than to be in an actual meeting with people for sure. Yeah, I hate it.
I mean, there are things that Zoom calls work well for, and then there are things that they don't.
Like when people want to move to Boston.
Not mentioning any names.
I did the reverse thing. I was commuting every day to Deer Park, and then they said, you can be remote. Chase your dreams, Meg.
Well, she won us over. She won us over first.
You made us say that. She's like, oh, I moved
Jesse
to
came to me
Boston.
before I even brought it up.
No,
He
I'm
was
not
like,
kidding.
just letting you know, you can move to Boston if you want.
Yeah, I think that's
Well, I
when
already
Saved
did.
me an awkward conversation.
that's when he was microdosing on mushrooms too.
Probably.
One of the times.
So you worked here?
Yeah.
Yeah, she worked. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
4 years.
Okay.
She still works here.
Yeah.
She's still,
Yeah, I'm not just like a random gal that they found.
I don't know what the dynamic is. I was like, I know these guys went to high school with me.
Yeah, she's
No,
she's
they're
still,
like, she's funny.
she does it all.
That's
She-
what I thought. I was like, oh, she's funny, friends with them. I didn't know you worked here. That's pretty cool.
No,
we just turned on this TV and she was on it. She was on it.
See? She never left.
I know.
She's
What
like
a
Siri.
cute little bookshelf. No, yeah.
That's
She's,
why.
4
she's
years.
an AI
I was
program.
just gonna say
She's an AI
she's an
program that we developed.
It's just like, oh, she works here.
Imagine Megan wasn't real; she was our AI.
I'm gonna
We
go
got
with
there
that.
first.
Soon.
I would be terrified.
I think we go with that. I think
Wow.
Meg doesn't check
Yeah,
the
no,
box
no.
at the end of filling out something that she's buying with a credit card. I am
Yeah,
not a
right.
robot.
Captcha.
But you're not like you're in like a special division now.
So what I do for the NYPD is I am in a unit called the Health and Wellness Section. And
Oh, that's cool.
the long story short, in 2019, it was created to combat officer suicides. We had 10 officer suicides that year, one of the highest that we've had in recent memory. And they started this health and wellness section. And how I wound up there was like literally by accident. I had a member of the police department's brass send me a DM on Instagram. Yeah, because this is 2020. At that point, it was 2019, saying, "Hey, we're starting this health and wellness section. We think you should come. Like, you have a great story, like talking about mental health, physical health, all this stuff."
Wow.
And I'm like, "Yeah, we'll see." I didn't want to go. At that point, I was in the gang unit. I was doing plainclothes anti-crime, like enforcement stuff. Like I did go inside. No way. I never want to do that. And like, but I actually went home that day and I said to my wife, "Honey, you're never going to believe what happened to me today. This member of the brass messaged me about going to this unit," and I'm laughing hysterically. She's not laughing. She's like, "You talk all this shit on social media. Why wouldn't you take this opportunity?" I'm like, "Fuck." So she was 100% right. And like, I took it and I've been running with it. And
I feel like that's an amazing, like for you, that's like a full circle moment.
yeah,
That's
no,
like,
it's definitely a full circle moment. Like I get to present to everybody, members of the brass. I teach every sergeant, lieutenant, captain that gets promoted. Pretty much the main thing that I teach, besides fitness and nutrition, I write custom plans for every member of the police department, uniform and civilian that want one. But the main thing that I teach is resilience. Like, okay, this job sucks. Now what are we going to do? If you're not going to leave, we got to figure out a way
How to make
that
it
you're
suck
going to
less.
make it work for you
Yeah.
and actually enjoy your life and figure it out. Otherwise, it's going to eat you alive. And that's why, if you don't know the statistics, like the average police officer lives about 17 to 20 years less than the average person. Really? It's because of stress, sedentary lifestyle, the bad coping mechanisms that we have, like drinking, like all this other stuff. Like the amount of drinking in police culture, I'm sure you guys know.
Well,
I'm sure you guys
seeing
know cops.
horror all
It's
day.
insane. It's like insanity. So like, we just don't take care of ourselves. We find every single coping mechanism we could possibly find, and then we prey on that, and then we try to. And listen, the job will give you every excuse to not take care of yourself and let you destroy yourself. But at the end, like anything else, it's ultimately your decision to allow that to happen, and we have to stop allowing that to happen to ourselves. We
Yeah,
have to
I
have
know-
those difficult conversations.
I know you have psychologists and stuff, right, that are a part of the force, but like you guys do, and I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. You guys see so many more things than a regular person sees throughout their workforce. Like, how is this not a thing of like having coaching and
So so the average person sees around like 1 to 2 traumatic events in their lifetime. Sometimes this average is like city metropolitan police officer. Sometimes can see up to 200 a year.
right?
Right. So the number is staggering. But the problem is always this. No matter how many resources that we have within the department or outside the department, there's this stigma attached, especially amongst male culture, about seeking help for anything, talking about our problems,
Right.
talking about stuff, admitting that we saw a traumatic incident that affected us, especially in a culture like that where we're like, oh, we're cops, we're supposed to be tough. Like, no, like shit is supposed to affect you, dude. Like,
Yeah.
you're supposed to talk about this stuff and
Ask
like,
for help.
So people still, no matter how many resources that we get, like we have to like break away from almost like, I hate using this word, but toxic masculinity almost, where it's like this like tough guy shit,
Sure.
where we actually have to like talk about things that are affecting us. And that's the biggest issue that we have. So like these psychologists, we have so many. We have 2 teams of psychologists. We have a medical division, and we have my division has psychologists in it. And we have 2 teams, and they come down and they don't say shit because they're
I
scared.
was going to say they're not seeing what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Right? They don't experience what you're experiencing.
Well, they see the cops, and the cops will not say anything to them because they don't trust them. They are afraid that if they do say something, that it's going to be. Sometimes that does happen. Very rarely does that happen. It has to be some like absolutely astronomical thing that happens, like a real mental disability. Like if somebody's like, I'm gonna kill myself right now. All right, listen. Obviously, then we got to take a gun and shield from you so you don't hurt yourself. Right? That's it. All right. Other than that, you're dealing with a mental issue, maybe temporarily, but we have a 99% return rate when it comes to returning people back to the force. It used to be a lot less. Like when I first got on, it was like 50, 60%. Now it's all the way up to like 99%. And that 1% is like people who committed crimes, like cops who committed crimes who shouldn't be cops. That's number one. And number two is people who from 20 to 30 years old, they develop schizophrenia. And like, let's just face it, if you have schizophrenia, you can't be in law enforcement. It's unfortunate, but you can't do it anymore. But
do you feel like you guys are making a difference? Like you're seeing some changes?
I definitely think that it has evolved not only with our section and me and doing this stuff. I think that culture in general has evolved to where it's culturally okay for men to talk about shit and talk about their problems like this right now. Like here we are, we're talking about stuff. You see podcasts, people talk about issues that they're going through. These books that people write and read that become part of pop culture and all these things. I think it's just evolving to the point where people are no longer afraid to say something. So there's this old statistic that before my section started, that we have this unit called the Employee Assistance Unit, which existed before the Health and Wellness section. That was the unit that you would call if you're having any type of issues, any type of. They used to get around 1,500 to 2,000 calls a year. That means that's how many times the phone rang. We don't keep track of who calls and stuff. That's just how many times the phone rings. Now it's up to like 6,000, 7,000 a year. So more people are willing to pick up that phone, call, just talk to somebody. Usually it's just they just want to be heard. They just want to have their issue heard because we're not used to being able to talk to anybody. So you just have a conversation and that's it. But it definitely is working. We do, we are helping a lot of people out there. And like I said, I think the culture shift in self-care has shifted so much. I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Oh my God, it's crazy. Like you see how many guys out there are working out more, journaling, like meditating, doing jujitsu, like doing all this stuff that is now pop culture relevant that has severely helped like men and women so much. It's like it's good to see.
That's cool.
Talking is it. You got to be able to, you got to get it. You got to process it because I feel like we hold so much stuff in our minds and there's so much story that we're telling ourselves. And when you don't say anything about it, you just keep feeding into this fucking story that's in your head that you didn't put there. Mm-hmm. But when you just get it out, even like without any objective or it's almost like you can see yourself, like you can step back. You can be like, oh, wow. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? This is not, there's a different angle on yourself. Whereas like when it's just inside, you have no perspective.
Yeah. And I'm not even saying just talk to a therapist. I'm saying talk to anybody, right? I am very, 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 very lucky to have a supportive wife. This is why I always say that like choosing your partner is just so important for your life because she's somebody who's supported me ever since. And she is somebody that I could talk to and I do talk to about absolutely everything. And she definitely knows my social security number, by the way.
Nice.
No, I can talk to her about anything, which helps me because like, she will tell me like, listen, you're being an idiot. Vice versa for her. Like she could talk to me about anything and like we can really have these conversations where a lot of people don't have. It doesn't have to be your spouse. It could be anybody in your life, whether it be a best friend, somebody to realistically talk something that doesn't involve drinking. Unfortunately, like what we do is we're like, hey, let's go out. We're feeling stressed. All right, let's go get fucked up. We'll have like 40 beers and then like we talk about shit. Maybe, I don't know. I can't remember those conversations. So are they valuable? No, they're not valuable conversations. Right? You should be in relationships with people and friendships with people who you can be around sober. Right? If you're in those relationships, those are the relationships you need to keep.
Yeah.
That's good. Well said, for sure.
Shit.
I know I'm just kind of like ranting and
no, that's what we do.
This is great.
That's what we do.
I'm just thinking about who I want to drink with next time.
Listen, I like to go out and have a couple drinks for sure. All right, I drink.
No, but you start to realize of your social life with your significant other is just that,
and
it's complicated.
And you start to realize too, like the older you get, the people that can't let go of that shit.
Oh yeah,
and it's like the dial just goes to 10 instantly, and it's like this isn't a situation I want to be in. You know,
dude, I saw you guys on the podcast of talking about how remember Friday nights, how Friday nights used to be lit, used to make the plans or whatever it was, Fridays or Saturdays. You were talking about it.
Yeah.
I work with people, and this is the unfortunate thing about the culture that I'm in, that still act like that, and they're 45 fucking years old. Like, dude, like,
it's crazy.
Even thinking about that to like me is exhausting. You know, I go on vacation, and my family like almost like makes fun of me. It's not like makes fun of me, but like I'll go and like I'll have a drink, I'll have like 1 or 2 drinks or something, but like. To me, the idea of being in a foreign country, the idea of being in a foreign country and being completely shitbox hammered and having to deal with my 2 kids in a foreign country if an emergency happens, like blows my, like honestly, gives me such I can't relax under that those circumstances. It gives me such anxiety that I just don't do it.
Yeah.
You know, same thing. Like if I'm having drinks, I have a couple drinks at home. Very, very rarely do I go out to a place. It's got to be like a really, really special occasion.
Yeah, it's got to be a celebration.
Yeah, it has to be a celebration. It has to be like something. I can't just go out and get hammered every fucking Friday and Saturday night. I can't do it, man. It's just
just the logistics of it alone are just not. You know, what I mean, it's not good.
Working out has helped me with that too, because like I want to get up and go out and work out on Saturday. I'm not going to be able to get up on Saturday if I can.
100%.
It's an industry that's in a lot of trouble though, because there's a range of maybe 15 to 20 years of people that are still doing what you're talking about, but younger people don't do that shit anymore.
I was just going to say that is like. All these bars and nightclubs that we grew up around, like they don't exist anymore. No. And people always say, "Oh, nightclubs don't exist anymore because of nightclubs don't exist anymore because people do not drink how they used to drink." No.
Yeah.
I mean, they do plenty of other shit, which 2 years to retirement, but no, they do plenty of other shit. But like drinking is just not glamorized like it used to be anymore. I think that this younger generation has seen the traumatic effects that alcohol has had on their parents. Sure. My dad included. Mm-hmm. My dad was a volunteer fire chief in Lindenhurst for a long time, and the fire department was another one of those, and he was a complete alcoholic, like bad. And people grow up in that environment and they see what it does to their parents. I just think that it turns them off, and they don't want to become that unless they get involved like in a culture like mine where it's just like every day, everything. Oh, it's a union meeting. All right, the union meeting's at this bar, open bar, dude. And then it's just like,
What about that for you guys? Like, is that getting any better, the alcohol abuse and things like that, or is it more the other aspects of health and wellness?
The alcohol is always a tough thing to tackle because every department event, everything we go to has alcohol, and people use it to their advantage. Some people are good. Like I don't really drink that much, but people go to these events specifically to get hammered. It's literally that scene from Super Troopers where Farva is drinking shit. I'll take 6 schlitzes, and it's like open bar, dude. And there's a lot of guys out there that are like that, and like
it's not like frowned upon. It's like
it's not frowned upon. It's part of the culture. Cheating on your wife is part of the culture. It's like it's all this negative stuff that like is normalized in police culture. Yeah. That is, and if you ask people, oh yeah, this is normal. No, dude, it is not fucking normal. In here, it might be normal. Out there, in regular society, it's not normal. And that's the problem.
In 1982, it was normal.
Right. And that's the problem is that we think, oh, no, this isn't... Dude, every job acts... No, dude, they don't. Every job does not act like that. They don't.
Every job has rules to not act like that.
Yeah, exactly.
And every job, they don't really hang out with your coworkers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like cops definitely hang out way more.
I think that's also a whole other problem I could get into is like... Because once again, our coping mechanisms is the second, like, let's say me and you were to have a conversation and you were to be like, hey, you know what? Like, you have a different opinion on policing or whatever, or how some body camera video wound up in the news. Now I'm emotionally in control. I understand that people have a different opinion. And a lot of times I don't agree with a lot of the cops on perspectives of things. Like I am very like across the board, like, if something's wrong, I'm going to call it out for what it is. I don't give a fuck if you're on my job or not. I do not care. Okay. But I have a conversation with you. You're not a cop. You tell me that like, oh, something that some cop did is wrong. I'm not going to talk to you anymore because you offended me. And now all I'm going to talk to is this vacuum of other cops who think like me, who walk like me, who talk like me, who drink like me, who have all these other bad coping mechanisms, and now I have no other outside friends. And this becomes a huge problem in retirement because now I retire, I have no other friends that aren't cops. They're still on the job, or maybe they're not. Maybe they retire too.
You never move past it.
And they never move past it, dude. It's like 13th grade with a gun. It's like high school with guns. It's nuts. Yeah.
I can see that. I can see that for sure.
It's tough though. The Army's probably like that. firemen like
closed
that.
loop
Like,
groups
yeah,
are
like
that.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Big time.
That's bizarre.
And you need to foster a certain sense of unity in order to get the jobs done. You know, you have to have that. You have to have that identity. But then at the same time, you know, it's harder to
you don't have that, how you
assimilate
gonna stand
into
on
the
the
rest of
riot line
society when you're not on the job.
You have to consciously check yourself. So like that was one of my biggest problems when I was when I was 425 pounds, when I was miserable, when I was burned out, when I was being a complete asshole, when I hated the communities that I worked in, when I did all this stuff and I was getting civilian complaints all the time, is that I developed this like, oh no, this is us versus them. This is not like this thing. And it took a lot of work up here and in here to think about like, what was I doing to myself? And because of what I was doing to myself, I constantly reframe, because I didn't come into the job like that. No, I generally don't think that a lot of people come into policing like that. I think that we let our surroundings and our environment and this almost peer pressure / bullying that goes on there affect us and affect our mindset, that you drift down that. And it took a lot of self-reflection to realize what was going on and to change that. And that's why I try to change that in other cops too. Yeah. But a lot of people don't have that moment of clarity where they're like, you know what, my behavior is fucked up. It's not everybody else, it's me. I need to change what's going on here and shift my perspective to where I actually realize what the world really is, not this bubble or this vacuum that I created in my own head.
Yeah. But there is another aspect of that job that's so different than another one, where people actually hate you for what you are. Like, they don't hate me because they don't hate. Well, it's not that new. I mean,
no.
I think there was bad cops back in the day that people hated anyway.
Yeah, it was amplified.
Or they were scared of. It's just amplified now.
The public negativity wasn't as strong as it is now.
No, because you're seeing it more. You're seeing it out more.
I think it's cool to hate the cops. So this is the whole thing. This is okay. Social media made it. We talked about before about, do I think the city is worse now than it was back then, or do we just more aware of it? I think that we're just more aware of things that are going out in the world. So
I agree.
If we hyper focus on that, that's all we're gonna see. You know,
I agree with that so much.
If you pay attention to the numbers and all this other stuff, like it doesn't reflect reality, and that is what it is. And I think the same thing with people who hate police. And this is another thing that I talk about during my resilience talks. Is I show a picture of this woman. It was a viral video during a police shooting. 2 police officers died in the 3-2 precinct up in Harlem. They were shot during a call. And this woman, during the funeral, complained on a viral TikTok video about how this is a waste of police resources. And I put her picture up there. And I go, who is this? And everybody in the classroom knows who this woman is. Okay? But then I put up a picture of somebody holding up "We Love the NYPD" sign.
Right.
Nobody fucking knows who they are.
Yep.
Even me. I don't even know who they are. And that's the big problem is those same funerals that woman was protesting, those funerals are on national television in front of millions of people who support us. And I think we just lose sight of that because it's so much easier to focus on that one woman
on the negative
or the few people, these loud voices on social media. And like I said, it's cool. So people hear this and they feel some type of tribalism, like, oh, I can get attention for hating the cops. Yeah. So now I'm going to get attention for hating the cops. But I really genuinely don't think that there are that many people out there that really hate us. And another thing is like me as a cop, if somebody doesn't like something that another cop did that I would never do, I'm on their team. Right, right. And we don't, unfortunately, a lot of people don't look at it like that. Like if we, as a culture, really have to stop defending acts that cops do that, like, dude, you know you would never do that. Why are you defending that shit? You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and I genuinely don't, I think it's way blown out of proportion. And I think people need that to feel that people hate them to create a sense of value. You know what I mean? They need to feel like they're fighting some kind of battle or some kind of war in their head psychologically to feel like they have value because they have no value outside anything else other than being a cop.
I would hate that. I would be exhausted.
Yeah.
Trying to battle that every day.
Yeah.
It's wild, man. I agree with you that that by the numbers, like we might be living in like one of the best times in history ever. Like if you look at it by the numbers, but it's never presented that way. It's just presented by the story. You know, who's spin on what story, and it's pretty wild. It's a very interesting concept to where, like, in reality, or as much as we can measure reality, things are going good, but nobody feels that way
because it's so easy to look at things nostalgically, and nostalgia is a drug like anything else. You just look at it in retrospect, and all you think about and all you feel like remember is the good shit, but you forget a lot of those bad things that went along with those good things. Like a lot of the struggle that you had, and it's very easy to be like, "Oh, the '80s were great for who?" Like it's very dependent.
The '80s were not great.
No, they were not great.
The '80s were crazy, man.
They had great movies. But
horrible music. But
no, but like you said, for who? For some people, you know what I mean? Like that's all time, every time. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no like
sticks.
Your responsibility to go make shit happen. You know what I mean? Like
Well, I think the other thing that's happening is just the pace of change is happening so fast that the group of people who are nostalgic or need to be nostalgic or want to be nostalgic or addicted to that drug is bigger than it's ever been.
Yeah,
you know,
agreed. Yeah,
things are way different now.
I mean, that gets made fun of too, being nostalgic, especially on me a lot in this show. Like, oh, you're so old. You know what I mean? When I like things from the...
Well, I think there's nothing wrong with nostalgia. I think the problem with nostalgia is when it's the only aspect of your sentimental,
of course. I mean, too much
thing.
of anything will kill you.
If you're not learning new stuff, if you're not developing new interests and culture and whatever, and all you do is rely on shit that happened when you were a child, I think that's a problem.
Yeah, no, big time.
I think that's a problem.
Megan, were you alive during the 80s?
No, God, no. I'm 27.
Okay, sorry, I had to get you involved in the conversation. I feel like...
No, I appreciate it.
Okay,
I know. I'm just listening. I always do this with the guests.
What year were you born?
97.
97.
I had a 1997 Toyota Camry for the fans.
I'm starting to get depressed on how much I have to scroll to get to 1980.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
To fill shit out.
That's a bummer.
I got to really scroll now.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, like 97 probably feels still pretty good. Like when you do the scroll thing to get to 97. 97, like you're not thinking.
Although it's getting there.
It's getting there.
You know?
97.
They love to humble me. They love to. I feel good at 27.
I was kind of expecting
Listen,
to say
you're just
you're
just like us. You were born in the 1900s.
Yeah.
Exactly. The 1900s. Oh God.
My kid said that to me the other day. You were born in the 1900s?
Wow.
Are you kidding me right now? Yeah.
Does that become a thing?
Yeah, because what are they, like 2011?
2012 was the first one, yeah. It's crazy.
Wow.
Anytime somebody I like see somebody's birthday that's in the 2000s, that's when
it just says like
that's
12.
You know?
Yeah.
It also hits when you see them like when they're gonna graduate. When they're 5, when they're gonna graduate high school, when it's like 2035.
Yeah.
You're like,
Oh my God.
You know, I teach recruits, like kids who are in the academy who weren't alive for 9/11.
Well, that's what something I was gonna ask you
Nuts.
about.
Wow.
It might just be because I'm getting older, but I still feel pretty young.
definitely because you're getting older.
It seems like the police force is kids, like loaded with kids.
I think that, once again, this is like perspective. Like, when I got on and I was brand new, I was actually considered like old. Like I got on at 23, graduated at 24, and I was like older then. It was a lot of young people. I just think that some people just got old. The people who get in, obviously, they're younger because they get on the job younger. But
maybe it's out here.
No, I think
like
it's
the
because
out here, yes,
Sayville
it's young
police
people.
force is children.
wait, they have their own police force?
Well, like the Suffolk cops
Suffolk,
out there.
yeah.
I think it's
The
because we're
cops
getting
that are
older.
out
I
there.
remember seeing a bunch of kids in college and looking at them and being like, those guys are children. But then I was like, when I was in college, I didn't feel like I ever looked like that.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and they're like children.
They look like children.
Children.
A lot of them do look like.
And I was like, I never felt that way. So I just think it's because we're getting older.
I guess it's too. It's like such it's an authority position.
Let's get old,
like,
Kurt.
This 21-year-old kid's gonna tell me to fucking
no, and I don't
not
blame,
drink and drive.
and I don't blame you for feeling that way. Yeah, exactly. Even back then when I was like 24 and I was looking for a car, I remember the guy that I went to the car dealership, he was like 2 years younger than me. He went to the same high school as us. And I'm like, I'm not buying a car from this fucking guy. 2 years younger than me. Who does this guy think he is? You know? Now, I forget it. I see a 20-year-old cop or a 21-year-old cop. I'm like, who the hell is this kid? You know, like, so I totally get it. But when I was younger, though, I used to be like, how could these people not like, listen, I'm an adult. I have a lot of lived life experience that you could possibly know nothing about, Junior. All right. So why don't you sit there? You know, so I get it.
I don't know shit.
That's why
I don't know anything.
I always said, if recruitment wasn't such a problem, I say raise the age to 25 because I don't think that being a cop should be anybody's first job. I think you should have a ton of first jobs first because that's a whole other thing. It's like,
I think
these
that's
cops,
interesting. That's an interesting concept.
It is. It's tough to take an opinion from a 21-year-old. Like he didn't really experience
Or for
anything.
nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, no, I mean, you got to be open. You can learn from anyone.
Yeah.
And I think you got to be open to that. But, you know.
Yeah, 21-year-old kid's gonna come in here and tell you how to run a business.
Well, but you also look at like just the age range of like owning a home, getting married, having kids, that just keeps getting higher and higher and higher.
Yeah.
Why doesn't it get higher for these things that are such important positions in society? You
You
know?
might have figured something out right here.
Whoa.
What is it?
Raise the age.
You
Of everything?
Lower the age of everything else.
Yeah, I mean, 21 is so young. Think about it. You can become a cop at 21 years old. It's so young. I became a cop at 23, and I was still like young and stupid and reckless. And I had a lot of lived life experience before I became a cop. But what happens is these kids, they go to college, they get a degree in criminal justice. Kids, if you're listening to me out there, do not get a degree in criminal justice, okay? Get a degree in something else. You do not need a degree in criminal justice to be in law enforcement, okay? Just because you can't use that shit anywhere else, okay? I'm just warning you right now. And so they get a degree in criminal justice. They get 21. They take the police test. They become a cop. They never had a job. They never had to deal with coworkers. That's the biggest thing. You never had to deal with coworkers or being in an environment, and now you're thrown into that, and you're thrown into having the authority to tell somebody what to do, like literally be able to take somebody's rights away. It's intense. It's a terrifying environment. Yeah, it's terrifying.
When could you be on a jury? How can
I'm
do you
not
have to
sure.
be?
I've
Still never been.
I've made it this
I've
far
never
without
been
having ever to do it.
I'm dying to be on it.
I was on a grand jury for a month. It was the best experience of my entire life.
Are you lying? Are you
I'm not even
Really?
joking.
I want to do it so bad.
So when I got returned back to full duty, this was back in 2014.
the case has got to be good.
They sent me to they sent me to a command that I hated. It was Long Island City, like retroactive. I was in a very negative headspace back then, just before and I fucking hated it, right? So I was like, I don't want to be here. I got a grand jury summons. I'm like, I'm volunteering. I don't care if they won't take me. I'm gonna be like, yeah, is it okay if I'm a cop? I want to volunteer right now. And that's exactly what I did. They didn't care.
I never even knew that you could do that.
I was just gonna ask
Yeah.
that.
You could
So
be on a jury.
I told them, they're like, do you think you could be impartial? I'm like, yes, absolutely. So
Come on down.
I sat there for a month. It was during the holiday season too. So I got all the holidays off because I was on a grand jury. And it was, honestly, it was amazing. It was even better that I was a cop and I got to see what went on behind the scenes in a grand jury, because you honestly get to see how dumb a lot of people are. And you're like, wow, it was really eye-opening about when you see, how did this person not get indicted? How did this person get indicted? It's because the average person, think about the dumbest person you know, half of the people of the world are dumber than that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's true. Like, there was just one case.
On juries?
What's up?
And those people are the ones that are making it the jury?
Yes.
Oh my
they were the
God.
people who were too dumb, or like me, who were just like crazy, or like, I don't want to go to work, who get on the jury, who don't have an excuse, they don't have any priority, and they don't know how to get out of it.
Fucking wild when you think about it like that,
No,
man. Like,
it's
that's
nuts.
those are the fucking rules that we got to play by.
I could go in and out of the craziness of the criminal justice system all fucking day about how fucked up it is for everybody, but I'll save that. But,
yeah.
So I sat there, and there's this one case I'll never forget, okay? It was Hempstead Police Department, because I was in Nassau County, and it was a drug sale. It was undercover, sold drugs bought drugs from a drug dealer, right? Actually,
a lot of drugs.
It wasn't an undercover. It was a confidential informant, which is crazy to me, because in the city, with confidential informants, they don't wear wires, they don't wear cameras, they don't do any of that stuff. But in Hempstead and Nassau County, some confidential informants actually wear wires. And this woman was wearing a camera when she bought drugs from this guy. It was the craziest thing. I could not believe it. Bought a lot of drugs, right? And then the woman comes in to testify. Now, this woman is buying drugs. So what is she? A crackhead. She's a crackhead, okay? She's a crackhead, all right? She's a drug
informant.
She's a drug user, somebody who's going to buy drugs. So she comes in, she testifies. Actually, in crackhead experience, she was very good, okay? She leaves, and people were like...
More crackhead.
She was like, I don't know. She's like, the way she talked, like, I don't really know why she talked like that. I'm like, excuse me. What do you expect her to say? Can I please purchase 3 drugs, please? Like, no. Like,
yeah, the slang and everything going?
She seemed a little off.
But yeah. She seemed like she was on drugs. Yes, because she was. She just finished using drugs before she got into this courtroom.
Why was the camera shaking so much?
You know? It was good to see that perspective of people, though. They just really don't understand what goes on outside in the real world, and how people are, how we use confidential informants or undercovers, or like how cases work. It's.
Do people still wear wires, or are we beyond that?
Oh, people wear wires all the time.
Yeah?
But
You
nowadays
wear
you'll
one
never
right
see
now?
them.
You wear a white.
I have a microphone right here. I don't need a wire.
Yeah, it's a
but
big
this
one
is
right
our
in front of his
audio.
face.
You steal our audio. You can't.
I do not consent to unauthorized. No.
I actually took the police test at I don't remember why. Oh, for what reason? Probably because I thought it was a good job, like most people. But I remember taking the test at Springfield Gardens High School.
That's where I took mine too.
And I look around, and I'm like, these questions are like, relatively easy. I look around, and the answers go across. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I look at the 6 people around me, and they're filling them down the row. And I was like, this probably ain't for me. Like I got.
When did you take it? I wonder if you took it at the same time I did at the same school.
I was probably around the same age.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. It was me and Justin Robinson. Justin Robinson definitely wrote them fucking down. Now he's a flight attendant.
He took it last week and wrote
That's
it
right.
down.
I did see that he is a flight attendant. That's cool.
Different tribe.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't mix around with the general population too much in my whole entire life, really. But when I saw that, I was like, I gotta figure this out. Same for me.
Yeah, I gotta do something else, dude. For me too. Like being a cop was not a dream. Being a cop was the backup plan of all fucking backup plans. Like it's just something I fell into, and now here I am, 18 years into it.
But you got the right mindset, though. When you get in there, it's like, all right, let's do some good. Like not let me. How quickly can I get out with the most amount of money?
Somebody sent me this video the other day, and like. People send me a lot of shit that's annoying, and usually I just like I always try to acknowledge people if they send me something. But there's some people who just send me like political shit all the time that I just don't have time for and don't want to deal with. But this person sent me this video, and it's on a podcast. I can't remember. And this guy's like, I went on a ride along once, cowboy hat and everything. He's like, I went on a ride along once, and let me tell you about when I decided to become a law enforcement officer. I was like, I went on this ride along, and they got to rough people up, and I'm like, and he sent me this, but this guy who sent me this sent this as like a point of pride. I'm like, dude, no, this is the exact reason that you shouldn't become a cop. This is not. No.
You want to hit him with the stick too?
They got to drive around real fast and break all the laws. Like, dude, what are you sending me? Like, no, that is the opposite reason why anybody should be. Dude, no.
Oh man,
the internet's funny. You know what I sent to Ken the other day, that self-defense one where the guy like spits the Pepsi in the bigger guys. You ever see that one? Yeah. That was fucking great. No, I know. It's like a guy who's like demonstrating self-defense, and he's a little tiny guy.
Yeah. Oh, with the mustache?
Yeah.
Smoke cigarettes?
Yeah. He like takes a sip of Pepsi. He's like, first what you want to do like this, and he blows it on the guy's face. He's like, is it dirty? Yes, but it's effective.
Lick cigarettes at people. He's like, you're just sitting around smoking a cigarette. He comes at you. Hey.
It's very funny.
What, is that from McDojo?
No, it's like from the 80s. Yeah, that's like real.
Yeah, it's
real.
definitely real.
Yeah,
it's definitely real.
It's real. The guy was serious.
Serious.
He was really trying to pull it over.
There was a guy in Lindenhurst who was like taught like crazy tactics like that. I don't know if you remember the school. It's closed now, but I went there for a little bit. It was called Modern Warrior.
I remember that place.
Yeah,
100%.
That
old
guy's
kooky cop.
Yeah, old kooky retired detective. Like, but listen, that guy was legit, man. That guy was like. He would say some shit and he'd be like, yeah, right, whatever. But then like there would be 2 guys like literally fighting each other blindfolded. Like, and it would be this, it'd be like, oh my God, this guy's legit. These guys actually fighting each other blindfolded. It was it was so nuts. I'm like, that's it. Sign me up. I'm sold,
Did you ever fight blindfolded there?
No, never. But dude, the guy had like a rain thing. Like he had a thing in the back.
I might have like taken a class or something there.
I took classes there for 2 years. I learned a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Probably they should not teach anybody. But
let's see a move. Go on, Jesse. Right now.
But they had like a rain room in the back where he used to make it rain. They used to fight in the rain blindfolded.
Yeah.
It was fucked up. Yeah. He had a school bus in the backyard that he had outfitted. Half of it was school bus seats. Half of it was airplane seats. So he taught you how to fight on an airplane.
Oh my God. Where is this guy now?
I think he died, honestly.
You have to simulate.
Sounds like a gym.
You have to simulate. You got to
still.
simulate. Yeah.
He had an elevator. He used to teach you how to fight in an elevator. Dude, the guy was like seriously like legit. And his whole thing was like he was a cop. He was in the decoy squad, which is a squad that no longer exists. It's where you pretend like you're going to be homeless. You pretend like you're a homeless guy and you try to get robbed. And this guy would like get fucked up all the time. And finally, what ended his career in the police department is he got chopped with a samurai sword, like literally from his shoulder, right above his heart.
Holy shit!
Yeah,
wow. A samurai sword.
Yeah.
By accident or somebody came out?
This is the 80s.
See, the 80s. I'm
There's
telling
like
you.
literally like
Wasn't so
warriors
good.
out there, like the baseball furies are out there.
Fucking samurai sword.
Where in Lindenhurst?
That's
was
why.
It
I
was
wish I
right
went
next to
to
Roll
that.
School.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no,
that makes
is that
sense.
Roll? Yeah, Roll.
Never went up north like that.
Lindenhurst.
It had like
North Lindy is a whole other thing.
You know it. You know it.
It's
It
a
had
whole
like
other
it
area.
had like a yin and yang. Like
Oh,
painting
yeah.
outside.
Yeah, yeah,
You guys know
that's
exactly what it is.
Man,
Right across from Gino's Pizza.
I wasn't allowed that far north in
Yeah, me
Lindenhurst.
neither.
Well, I mean, if some shit pops off in an elevator, you'd rather have been somewhat inside of the experience than to have to deal with it brand new.
Yeah.
I think
No,
like
it's-
simulation like that is smart.
Well,
It's interesting.
you needed it when you were in North Lindenhurst. You needed all of those tactics.
Right. You were never going on a plane. You know.
My mom would be like, "Oh, we got LYC basketball at Roll." No, you don't.
I think about fucking like if something ever popped off on an airplane. Every time I'm on an airplane, I'm always like looking around like
You're looking for a fight?
just
Calm down.
I'm thinking, yeah, seriously. I'm thinking the plane's going to explode.
I'm not looking
You're thinking
for
about a
one,
fight.
but I'm just like always thinking in my mind that like that is something that could occur.
I feel like
and
he's
what would be
always thinking
what
that
would
there's
be
a
the
fight
path
around him.
Yeah.
I feel like you always think somebody's after you a little
like
bit.
he said, I need therapy. I need a therapist.
People are worried about
on
it
a
going
daily
down.
basis.
Right.
I'm worried about how quickly the
These
potato
jiu-jitsu
chips are
guys,
coming
man.
out. You know?
These jiu-jitsu guys.
You never
That's what
know.
you change it. Who are these jiu-jitsu guys?
They're always waiting to like use their moves, right? Like they
Yeah.
want to use it in public.
I'm gonna use my moves, man.
Yeah, you do. It's just gonna start walking around
That's
with
funny
gi
to
on.
say.
It's just-
We should do a video series of that. Just
What?
get you out there using the moves.
Get me
Oh,
spitting.
yeah.
Honestly, you want to go
Spitting
viral?
Coca-Cola?
Just make a fake page where you teach fucking like jujitsu moves that aren't even real, that are stupid and are never gonna work because the jujitsu cult will fucking attack the shit out of you.
Yeah, yeah.
and you'll
And
go
then you get
viral,
big.
just like that guy, Detroit Dust. Right? You know that guy? I met him in person in Times Square. If you look up Detroit Dust,
Black dude.
yeah, he's like Detroit Urban Survival
Yeah,
Training.
yeah, yeah. He's
that
amazing.
guy. Dude,
he's amazing.
and he's
Not
like
real.
a pop culture phenomenon. And
Yeah,
I was in
huge.
Times Square once with my family. Like I said, I go to the city all the time. I'm walking and I see the guy, he's filming a video. And I was like, oh shit. Like I talked to him for a little bit. I think it's all a scam. I think he really knows what he's doing. I just think he makes those videos for to be popular. Like, and it
He's
works.
probably a guy like the Modern Warrior guy. He's
100%.
He's probably like in that realm, and he leaned into it because it's like, all right, people like this shit, so why don't I just make it funny?
Yep.
Fuck it.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Do you ever get like really terrible advice from somebody that you used on anything? Like anybody just give you like a really bad idea that you
Yeah,
just
the
used?
worst advice I ever got, kids, don't listen to this, all right, was to go to college. That was my worst advice ever. And I'm not saying don't ever go to college. What I'm saying though is like when people say that you have to go to college immediately, like you don't. All right. But that was like one of the things that like legitimately fucked up my whole entire life was because, hey, you have to go to college. You know, you're in 10th grade. You better decide what you want to do with the rest of your life. And then you wind up
so
going to
silly.
some college you don't
true.
want to fucking go to. You don't know what you want to do with your life. You wind up wasting an entire year trying to figure it out. I went to 5 colleges because I didn't want to fucking be in school. Right. And I didn't finish college. Oh, that's another thing I did. I didn't get my degree until last year after my 6th college when I finally got my
Congratulations.
bachelor's degree. Thank you very much. Liberal arts.
My brother did the
Right
same
up there with
thing.
criminal justice. But like that was honestly like, you know, people stress school so much just because I don't know why. But I could not focus like at all. Like I would have been better off going to a trade school or an art school. Like you guys remember, I was always into arts and film and stuff, but people, you know, your parents get scared. Oh, he's not going to get a job and whatever and all this stuff. And then you wind up going to a college that fucking sucks that I got kicked out of.
Meanwhile, electricians and plumbers are making bank.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's all these made
You
up
gotta have an
degrees.
objective. The objective can't be just to go, and that's
Yeah.
that's what it is.
100%. You
The
have to-
objective is well, I mean, once upon a time,
It was the parents wanting to tell other parents that their kid is going to school.
No, but before
no matter
that, like
what.
you know,
Yes.
like
That was
like
first.
like not devil's advocate, but like on the bright side of this, because I mean, I agree with you. I mean, her and I have been talking about this for forever. I'm always like, fucking college is ridiculous. It's not going to exist anymore. But at a certain point in time, it distinguished people in regards to experience. You know what I mean? Like there was a point in time when not a lot of people did it, and if you went and did it, you learned something and you were able to kind of distinguish yourself from
You
the
were
others.
level up.
But now when you have a system to where everybody does it because it's just a thing, now there's no level of
Yeah.
you know, it becomes harder to distinguish. So it's like if you don't have an objective, if you don't have a certain level of like, I want to accomplish this, so I'm going to make an investment in the education of this.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have that, it's kind of
Which does make it work
well-
if you do have that drive for
Well,
that.
no, but that's a
that
whole
thing,
different
that
thing. It's a
works.
whole different thing. That I mean, educating yourself and investing in what you want to do that's the fucking meaning of life. I mean, I don't think there's anything smarter than that. But just going through motions because like people are telling other people that like this is what people do, and you know, my mom will think I'm a failure, or society will view me as a failure if I don't. You know what I mean? Like all these fucking stories that are attached to it. They're not helping anybody.
No, it's just a business that got bigger and bigger and bigger, and the number of schools that there were, like that's the thing too. It's like, you know, and then the ones that were so elite where it's like they're incentivized to keep their enrollment down, you know, and their businesses, they're tax-free gigantic endowments, you know.
It's just a giant business is all it is. And like it essentially, like, you get a degree, all right, cool, listen, like I got my degree just because when I went and became a cop, I had 96 college credits, and then being in the police department, like you take some courses that have college credit, so I needed literally like 6 classes to get my degree. So it was just like one of those things where like, I don't want it to, when I retire, I don't want not having a degree, because it still means something to some people to hold me back. But at the same point, like it's everybody has a degree. Like you go on.
Doesn't separate you anymore.
It doesn't separate you, all right? It's like the LinkedIn of qualifications. Don't get me started on LinkedIn. I fucking hate it, all right?
We're the wrong people to talk to about LinkedIn.
That's
our whole
we
business.
make all of our money.
Really?
That's how we make
That's our whole
I need to
business.
figure out how to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Then LinkedIn is
I
awesome.
actually had several.
We love LinkedIn.
I endorse
That's
LinkedIn
all
for
we do.
president.
Connect, follow.
Okay.
No, but we're not. I mean, you could say you talk all the shit you want about like that. It's fucking annoying as hell. But we know how to use it well.
Okay, good. All right, well, you need to teach me how to use it, because I don't know how to fucking use it. Because listen, in my career, like what I do outside is like I do public speaking. I speak to police departments. I speak at conferences. I do all that stuff, and like the people who are involved in my space are like legitimately the biggest scammers on fucking earth. They have all these fake qualifications and letters after their name, never done a goddamn thing, never done shit, but they'll post any minor accomplishment like it's the greatest thing that it's nuts. Like I don't.
It's just another, like the thing about LinkedIn is like there's
outreach.
And there's also you can get more attention there than the other ones now.
You think so?
100%.
Yeah, but I beyond that, I mean, I'm not.
I'm interested like right now. Like,
I think how I see it, like there's definitely better organic reach because not as many people are there. So that's for sure. He's right. But what I like most about it is that it's sales. You're playing a different game. You're not marketing. What you're doing is you are looking specifically in terms of like, I want to do speaking engagements, right? You can build a list of people that could potentially affect that outcome, and you could communicate directly to them. That to me is my favorite thing in the world, because it's like
I'm doing it completely wrong.
If I'm
treating it like another Instagram, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah, but that's part of it too. But you have
That
to
is part of
couple
it.
that with outreach.
So
So you have an audience of the right people.
we can help you
What that's
offline. We'll
about,
talk
too.
about this.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
This was
Let's
interesting.
talk. But we can talk about it more now.
Yeah. You use it for marketing for this or
For everything.
You know what? I mean, just the shoemaker fucking has no shoes. It's we have not yet really tapped into it for this.
So what do you use it for?
What we do is that we're an agency for other people.
Okay.
Other people hire us to maximize them.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Who are these guys?
Yeah, seriously, who the fuck are these guys?
There's a
I
lot.
know, right?
There's a
You
lot of
guys have a
layers.
lot of moving parts. Who are these guys and girl? Okay.
That's a day job that we do.
There's a
LinkedIn.
lot of layers in this motherfucker.
Good. That's awesome. Good. Everybody needs to have a lot of layers.
Yeah, but I mean, we could use a few less.
So could you.
Yeah, exactly.
So could you.
Yeah, we could use a few less. You know what I
I
mean?
make T-shirts too. I forgot. I make T-shirts.
just-
I'm wearing one right now.
Maybe
Pressing them at night.
stick to
It's,
LinkedIn.
I think it's a part of the entrepreneurial process. Like you got to be a psychopath and you got to get yourself involved in more shit than you can handle, and then you got to figure out how to reel yourself back and kind of fucking, And it's a constant. You know what I mean? And you'll be that way for forever.
we gotta try things. You know, you just gotta keep trying things. That's it.
If you didn't get it to up to here, you never would have gotten the water in the first place. You
no
never
way.
would have. You know what I mean?
No, I definitely got to try everything.
One last thing that maybe you know the answer to. Is the Long Island Wise guy one guy or is it a team of people?
Oh my god.
Fixated.
I wanna know.
Okay, so it's one guy, and I think it's one guy, and I'll tell you this because we've been following each other for a long time, and there was one time whatever shirt that I made, he was like, hey, can you send me a shirt? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So he had me mail him one shirt. So it's probably one guy. I know what town he lives in, if that helps. But it's one guy.
It's one guy.
He lives in a North Shore town on Long Island.
Interesting.
That's all I'm saying. But yeah.
Secrecy.
That's who we got to get to interview, right?
Yeah,
The
but who
lead
knows
Long
who
Island
that-
wise guy.
It would be so great if it was like a 70-year-old woman.
That would be amazing.
Oh,
that'd be
catfish.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like you
Or if
think
it
it's
was-
like you think it's like either somebody our age or younger, but like hopefully it's
Yeah.
like it's a 63-year-old dude.
I'm hoping
named-
it's like
named
Kurt's dad.
Howard.
Ken Schnatz.
Ken Schnatz, old math teacher, Lindenhurst math teacher, Lindenhurst
I should have
basketball
put that
coach.
together a long time ago that was your dad.
You didn't know
Holy shit.
that was my dad?
That's wild.
Did he yell at
Your
you?
dad's long.
No, I never had him. I remember him.
Sometimes.
You remember him?
I get
had
weird
basketball
encounters
tryouts with him.
You had
Oh,
bad
yeah, that's
encounters. You had something with him.
He was my basketball coach.
Yeah, that must have not have went well.
I tried every year to play basketball. I was just not good at it. I folded under pressure every
Me
time.
neither. Trust me, you didn't want to be on that team. The fucking jerseys was so tight.
Yeah.
I tried out for the basketball team. I didn't make it.
I didn't make it.
Yeah, we know.
I was a little hurt because I thought I was all right.
Yeah.
I'm sure you did. You thought you were a good football player too.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Being part
That's
of
not
football.
true. I played football for fucking 3 weeks.
Till they
Don't
put the
talk about
helmets
your
on.
helmet.
Yeah. No. Basketball was all right. I had a handle, you know.
I remember you being pretty good at basketball. From what I
It was.
remember.
I was.
You remember
I would
him
love
being
to
good at
see that.
basketball?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way he was good at sports.
Dude, he's lying. If he
No
doesn't,
fucking
if he doesn't
There's
coach.
not a chance.
That's it. 2-on-2 right
I
now
wasn't
outside.
like-
Didn't I beat you? Like I played with Brian Bavona and we beat you?
I don't think so.
I think so, and I'm definitely not in shape to play basketball.
I wasn't like great, but it didn't suck.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
What's up, Meg?
Big range.
It's cool. There's a lot of
Whatever.
people. There's a lot of people doing. Yeah, I saw you posted all those things the other day. It's a lot of cool people doing a lot of cool shit from where we're from, man. You know.
Well, honestly, I'm always here to support everybody doing anything cool. You know, like that's no bullshit. Even like when I came in here the first time, I'm like, dude, like whatever you guys need. Like I'm always happy to promote what you guys have going on. And I just want to be able to do that for people. So. And I try to explain this. So my wife went to Division Avenue in Levittown, and the dynamic of what school was like for her was not quite the dynamic of what school was like in Lindenhurst. And I think Lindenhurst is just such a weird, interesting, unique dynamic to a lot of other places that aren't the same. It's when you hear other people's stories about what high school was, especially when it came to like, you know what was very, very big in our school that's not big and emphasized in a lot is the arts, dude. Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
like
A lot of creative people came out of Lindenhurst.
so many creative people. There were murals everywhere, all this art stuff all over the place. Like art was really embraced. You had like 1 million art classes. People were really involved. And I think that's why so many people evolved from Lindenhurst, especially people who are our age. Like I found out that another person that we went to high school with, remember Jessica Tilden?
Yeah.
She's Cookie Baby NY. She bakes those like, it's the craziest, like, I mean, like art cookies. Like it's nuts. So another person who just evolved and just became like, embraced the arts, especially like with bands and music. And like, I was trying to tell my wife this the other day is like, there's a huge reason. I mean, I never went there because I really wasn't allowed to go anywhere, but there was this place in, I want to say it's like technically West Babylon and Lindenhurst off 109. It was called PWAC.
PWAC.
Yeah. I never went ever.
Absolutely.
Okay. But I'm telling you, like a lot of the bands that came out of Long Island during that period was because of that place. And like embracing arts, especially among young people, is such an important thing. That's why it's so important to me to bring my daughter's like, oh, I want to sing. I want to learn how to sing. All right, cool. We'll take you to School of Rock. She's singing in a fucking rock band with a bunch of other 11-year-old kids, you know, learn how to play the piano. Like I'm all about that shit. Like,
Why these other schools didn't have?
it's not like that.
Arts?
They do, but it's not nearly the same thing. Like they might have like, dude, like I remember like the school plays at Lindenhurst was like a huge fucking
big deal.
thing.
Big deal.
Where like my daughter's school, it's really, you know, she goes to Island Trees. It's not really that big. It's not really that big of a deal.
Everybody says Lindenhurst is different. Like you guys have talked about it. Guests have talked about it. I don't know. Maybe because I'm just in it.
I think, I don't know, like, I think the time that we were there, you know, crossing into fucking year 2000 and shit, and like that time, that group of people, I think there is a lot of, I think it was different. I think it was different than a lot of other people that
It's
I know.
different. I would say like definitely like surprisingly diverse. Also,
Yeah,
another
yeah.
thing, like
Yeah.
like it's definitely surprisingly diverse, like accepting, culturally accepting. Like everybody I know from
That's because
Lindenhurst,
of Rawl.
Whoa.
Fucking Kurt, man. Kurt is fucking unbelievable.
Everybody.
I was just coming back to it, guys. Come on.
Well, I think too, there's also something special about like people that are around our age who have existed in both like the digital and non-digital
Definitely.
worlds.
Without a doubt.
true,
That's
too.
a real
Yeah.
thing, man. That's a real thing that like there's a name for that, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there?
There's a name for
cool
it.
as fuck.
There's like a
Brilliant.
micro generation like inside in between Gen X and millennials. It's like a 3 to 5 year span. But yeah, we were like right smack dab in the middle of the change of fucking the universe.
Yeah, it's like you had to talk to people in person still, for a little while.
But yeah,
be
we
good
had
at
Facebook
that.
in our dorm rooms.
Yeah, and then you could be downloading shit on Napster the next weekend.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Like Lindenhurst is like essentially a blue collar town, right? Blue collar town for sure. But everybody was like, as far as I remember, like into art and stuff, and like it's just this weird dynamic. I want to say like, I mean, I would use this word like socially liberal. All right, is a good way to put it. Everybody was sort of socially liberal,
Blue
but
collar, but socially liberal.
yeah, exactly. And like me being, that's how I grew up. Like being both part of both of those things, I think is what like
It's not a common mix.
No, it's not.
It's not a
at
common
all.
mix.
Yeah.
But yes, you're very right.
And I think that's definitely what sets Lindenhurst apart from a lot of other places.
You think it's still like that?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll find out in a couple of years when my
Yeah,
kids
you're
reach
there.
high
You're there.
school. I don't know what's there. I know events are still big. Plays, all that stuff is still huge.
They still have the theater. They have that theater on
Yeah,
Woodland
right in
Avenue.
town.
I went. I
Yep.
saw a theater, a play there.
Yep.
Like they have the breweries. Like Lindenhurst is doing good now.
And a lot of
About
people are
time.
doing a lot of really cool shit, like the Holy Black, you know what I mean? Like their
Yeah.
influence on the town, and like the people, the OG Academy, the
Yeah,
people that are
yeah.
involved there, they're very like, let's make it cool, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
no,
they're
events.
injecting a cool factor and bringing people, in. It's really cool.
No, it is cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I remember his locker was like directly like behind mine in high school. I remember that, and we graduated with his sister, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who? Stefan's locker.
Stefan's
Stay
locker
away
was
from
directly,
Stefan's
and he had that
Don't,
food.
don't go to Stefan's locker.
he was probably growing mushrooms in there.
he had that food truck first. Then he sold
Yeah.
that food truck to Joe Ciato, who I don't know. I haven't talked to him in a long time. But yeah, no,
Stefan's
it's
one of the
crazy.
most impressive people I've ever met.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Love
Without a
that.
doubt. And I feel like I'm not very easily impressed at that level, but every time I'm around this guy, I'm like, this fucking guy's something else, man.
Yeah, he's another
guy's
one that doesn't stop. He's
something
always
else.
doing something.
It's so crazy. Like I have no hair. I don't use shaving products, but I follow the Holy Black and I like every single one piece of their content. It's the weirdest thing.
Their biggest
it's like,
fan.
I like them so much that I go on their site sometimes and I'm like, what can I possibly buy to support this company? But I can't buy anything. There's nothing. Listen, if
Like, I
you're
already
listening,
got all the
Holy Black,
t-shirts.
come out with a bald guy head shine wax product. I'm in. All right, I will buy it. I'll
You're
buy
the
5 of them.
ambassador.
Well, the ironic part about it is they're both bald.
That's true. That's
Like,
true.
make some shit for yourself other than a T-shirt,
Serious beards,
Clubhouse.
though. Beard maintenance.
Yeah,
I don't.
I don't have
guys
a
do cool
beard.
shit.
I don't have.
No,
this,
those guys
but
are great.
Nah,
Those guys are
it's cool. I love seeing all that stuff, and like their whole style, their whole vibe is just like very like Lindenhurst, man. Like just chill. Like I like that.
Well, they speak the truth. I mean, they always said the first opportunity we could get to go back there, we're going to go back there.
Where
Oh
were
yeah,
first?
they were
They're
pissed.
all
when
over the place. West Babylon.
They were in West Babylon
really?
for a little
Yeah.
while, and then Lindenhurst started blowing up a little bit, and they were like, "How the hell do we get back
That
in
spot
here?"
that they got is so cool. Too.
Yes.
Yeah,
And they made it cool.
yeah.
They
That's
made
exactly-
they made
yeah,
it cool.
yeah. Even just the building itself just looks cool. It sticks out. It
We
stands
have
out.
to go back.
Yeah, let's go back.
Let's go back.
What are
I
you
can't
gonna?
believe that fucking bar is still there. The one that's right by there. It used to be Dr. Shay's. Do you remember that
Yeah,
place?
it's
right
still there.
down?
Village Green or
I
something, is it
can't
called
believe
now?
that bar is still there.
The one
Villager?
across Frank and
One right
Irene's
next-
became that restaurant. Became that like taco spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god,
crazy.
I have a story. I have so many stories about that place.
I fucking
Let's just say, like, I went in there once. Me and you remember Kevin Hart?
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So he moved to Florida like a long ass time ago. I haven't talked to him in a while, but like one time he came to visit me, and we're like, hey, you know what? Let's feel good about ourselves. Let's go to Frank and Irene's. I swear to God, we went into Frank and Irene's, and I'm not going to mention the person's name who was there, but like. They were in pretty bad shape, and like I felt really bad, and like while I felt good about myself, I felt terrible for that person, and then I almost got robbed. Somebody's like, "Yo, let me get your cell phone." It was crazy. I was like, "That was the last time I ever went in that place, and they
Let
closed."
me get your flip phone. Let me get
It was no good.
I don't know. Lindenhurst has changed.
I went to Oktoberfest. It hasn't changed that fucking much.
It hasn't. You know what's funny? It hasn't.
People
changed
walking
that
around
much.
there look like
Ripping
Lindenhurst.
Ripping
They look like
Zeppelis.
Lindenhurst.
I still see the same people. I go every year. I go to that makeshift New Year's Eve ball drop that they have.
Oh, I did that
yeah.
last year. That was dumb.
Yeah, but like it's the same people. It's the same people. Like I said, my father was the fire chief. It's all the same fire department families. Every single one of them, I recognize all of them. It's just so funny. Yeah.
It's cute.
From working in the beer distributor, though, I see the same people too, and I'm like, please don't remember me from working in the beer distributor for 20 years. You know, I see people in my town in Sayville that I remember from the beer distributor.
Really?
Yeah,
Jeez.
I was like, it's weird eye contact.
I'll see a beer distributor.
I love Sayville. Sayville's such a nice town.
Sayville is a nice town.
Yeah,
I don't
it
get
is.
to visit it that much, but it's a nice town.
Yeah, it's fun. It's good. It's nice. Wanda Sykes, she's a big Sayville fan. She's always in the coffee shop.
Is she really?
Yeah, because she's
She's gay and she goes to the thing.
She's
She's gay and goes to the thing.
That's why.
All right.
Only
The
during
ferry
June.
is over there. The ferry.
Cherry Grove.
Only in June.
Yeah.
Oh, the fact.
Cherry Grove is still like
And
a gay
the
town?
pints.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Meat Rack. You never heard of the Meat Rack?
Yeah.
Is that a bar?
No, it's just a part of the
No.
woods where you go to.
No, like the Grove in Central Park?
Yeah.
Like what?
The Brambles?
Yeah. What is
Yeah, Joey taught
Joey
us
told us
that.
about it.
the
Really?
meat rack? That
I had to
sounds-
go to a meeting. over
Great
there
name.
You had to go to the meat rack?
So no.
A meeting.
Meeting.
I went to a meeting in the meat rack. Only lasted about fucking
that
8
sounds
minutes.
intrusive.
His name was Jim.
No, I belong to like this outsourced board of directors thing, and one of the guys on the board is his community. So like each meeting a different member like hosts, and his was during the summer, and he hosted a meeting out at his house on Cherry Grove, and we all went there, and it was like 8 straight guys ranging from 40 to 68, and then this dude. And like he had us all set up at like this restaurant bar that he was involved with or whatever.
It's cool.
And like with him, but like walking through, like I'm like, oh wow, I know what fucking women feel like. It was very uncomfortable.
What do you mean?
Because
What do
like
you mean?
all the
He's like,
dudes,
everyone
there's like a
on
whole
the
bunch of
end
guys.
was
Does it
There's
make you
like a
feel
whole bunch
better?
of guys that just want to fuck guys. You know what I mean?
That was a better way to say that. That was a better way to say
Definitely a
that.
better way to say that. But what I'm trying to say is that like
Not cutting this.
you felt it. You felt it. You know what I mean? You felt the fucking.
You felt the eyes.
That's a
You
nice
felt the
confidence
eyes.
You're
boost.
felt
telling me
the
you,
eyes.
you felt the eyes.
I'm telling you.
So if I go there and I don't feel the eyes, I'm going to be depressed?
I think you're gonna feel the ice. I think you're gonna feel the
Kurt
ice.
didn't feel any eyes in the meat rack.
I don't think it had anything to do with me being special.
They don't want to look at you in the eyes
I
of the
think,
meat
you know,
rack.
I thought he was going to say like 8 straight guys went, 6 came back. By the way,
It was an experience. That's all I'm trying to say. I never been there.
Ripping up
I
their
never
ferry
been there. It
tickets.
was a
I'm
fucking
never going
experience.
back.
I'm gonna pee my pants, but we should have asked about like what's the gay thing in like the cop world? A lot of gays?
You want to ask right now?
No, we could ask it off.
Okay.
I piss my pants. So is Jessica.
Well, thanks for coming on. We never end the episode, so
I don't
thank
think
you.
we introed it either. Again.
I tried to get a
never
welcome.
We never
in
intro. We
there.
never outro.
Oh, that's right. He asked the food.
We
film.
just talk, man.
That's
we
true.
do.
Oh, yeah. You're so quiet, okay? I feel bad.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't feel bad. It's okay. I like to listen.
She's here to learn.
Yeah.
Don't learn from us. If anything,
This is might be one of my favorites.
It would be like that drug commercial. Daddy, I learned it from you. Don't learn that from me. Don't learn.